They say the road to becoming an award-winning songwriter and composer is paved with melody. It's not. It's paved with pressure.
Your NT already won.
Our student winner.
That's my son.
But before the applause, there was just the noise.
Do it! Just do it!
October 1st, 2 weeks to deadline. St. Scholastica's College 120th Anniversary Theme Song Contest. Cash prize, real money I could use to produce, release, and finally launch my career. A door opening. But then I saw it. Not just students. This was open to everyone. Veteran teachers, seasoned alumni, even parents with professional experience. 120 years of history needs a song, and I have 2 weeks. I looked at the blank page. If I want to win this, I can't just write something clever. I have to understand what I'm honoring first. I dove into research. Ora et labora, prayer and work. Simple, right? Wrong. This wasn't a motto. This was a rhythm, a way of life. The Wagon Shed School in 1906, rebuilding from war, the first music conservatory, alumni who became pilots, congresswoman, a president. Every story I found, chapel bells, acacia trees, blue and white banners, sisterhood across generations. They all said the same thing. This place is alive. And I realized I'm not writing about a school. I'm trying to give voice to something that's been singing for a century. How do you do that in 2 weeks? I set a timer. 5 minutes, 10 angles, go! The chapel bell, the wagon shed to halls of justice, hands joined, trees remembering, the torch passing, phoenix rising, study, serve, pray, blue and white, listen with the ear of your heart, and then legacy as a river. 10 concepts, scribbled notes everywhere, criteria swimming in my head, 50% relevance, 30% originality, 20% recall. I started scoring them, numbers, logic, trying to force order on a chaos. The river kept pulling me back. I stopped scoring, started listening. Legacy as a river, flowing from the first sisters to every student, carrying ora et labora through 120 years. It wasn't just the highest score, but it was also the truest answer. Every drop matters. Every current connects. I hadn't invented this. I'd heard it. The river was already there. It just needed words. I wrote the vision statement, printed the research, cleared my desk, turned off my phone. This wasn't background music for a celebration. This was a song that would make alumni cry at reunions, that student would sing at graduation. I lit a warm light, 3 deep breaths, set my intentions. The groundwork was complete. The river had a name. Starting tomorrow, I have only limited time to write the lyrics. The next chapter would test everything I knew about songwriting. Day 1, the river concept was locked. SSC research pinned to the wall. The chapel rose, blue and white, ora et labora, 120 years. Now I just had to write. I set a timer, 45 minutes. One rule, don't stop. Verse 1 pours out. 1906, wagon shed, sisters planting seeds. The bell rang. The river still flows. Pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, outro. 45 minutes later, complete. I read it back. Pride, relief. But also, this thought. What separates a good song from a great one? Is this the song that wins? The next day, I saw the cracks. Too generic, too abstract, mixed metaphors. 6 drafts. Every fix created a new problem. And then I realized I wasn't just writing a song. I was auditioning for my own history. If I get this wrong, I'm not a composer. I'm a fraud. These aren't just bad rhymes. They're insults. If I sing weak lines, I'm erasing them. 6 drafts in. Better, but am I just guessing? Or am I just not good enough? I closed the laptop, walked away, sat outside, watched the trees. The acacia trees have watched 120 years. I thought about withdrawing. Minutes of silence. And then I realized I couldn't do this alone. I needed help. I went back and looked in my book collection and found Pat Patterson's Songwriting, Essential Guide to Lyric Form and Structure. I opened to chapter 6, Balance and Motion. Everything clicked. A balanced section rests, an imbalanced section pushes forward. My verses were all balanced, static. The pre-chorus released tension instead of building it. The bridge felt like another verse. I wasn't revising words. I was re-architecting the motion of the song. Draft 7. Cut the pre-chorus to 2 lines. Urgent. Suddenly it drove you into the chorus. Draft 8. Restructured verse 2. Now it pushes forward. Draft 9. Strip the bridge to 5 short phrases. Minimal and steadily building. I read it through. The verses moved. The pre-chorus propelled. The chorus resolved. This wasn't guessing anymore. This was craft. Draft 10. Line by line. Precision. I tightened the pre-chorus. Polished the bridge. Changed the outro to spotlight the hook. We are the river. Flowing on. I saved it. Legacy like a river. Ora et labora. Not perfect, but complete. Structurally sound. Emotionally authentic. Unmistakably Scholastica. 10 drafts. Walking away. 1 songwriting book studied like scripture. Draft 1 was instinct. Draft 6 was ego. Draft 10 was craft and humility. The lyrics were complete. The river had words, but words without melody are just paper. I sat with my guitar, empty frets, silent. I pressed one note, then another. They didn't connect. What if the melody doesn't match the weight of the words? What if it sounds cheap? 120 years deserves more than a nice tune. It deserves a voice. I looked at the lyrics. We are the river, flowing strong. The stress fell on ver, on flow, on strong. The rhythm was already there. In the syllables themselves, I just had to listen. I set a timer, 15 minutes, no thinking, just searching. I hummed into my phone. Option 1, rising melody, delete. Option 2, bold declaration, delete. Option 3, flowing, lyrical, maybe. Voice memo after voice memo, 12 attempts. Some felt like sports anthem. Some felt like hymns that weren't mine to write. But I didn't give up and kept humming. Tapping the desk on the stressed syllables. We are the river, flowing strong. The rhythm was a pulse. The melody had to follow the heartbeat of the words. 5 options, tied to the criteria, scored 1 to 5. Option 1, too familiar. Option 2, too aggressive. Option 4, too complex. And then it hit me. I was trying to write a melody. But melody isn't written. It's discovered. Every option felt fake because I was forcing sound on the words that already knew how to sing. The stress patterns, the peaks, the natural flow. The lyrics had been telling me the melody the entire time. I stopped scoring, started singing. We are the river, flowing strong. I said it 3 times, listened to where my voice naturally rose and fell. I played it on guitar. The melody followed the speech. It flowed like a river. I tested the chords underneath. F major, G major, C major. The harmony held the story. Powerful chorus. Reverent verses. I sang it through. Once, twice, 10 times. It wasn't forced anymore. It was breathing. I can't imagine 500 people sing along. This wasn't a tune imposed on lyrics. This was the lyrics' own voice. When I sing it back, I heard it. The anthem wasn't mine anymore. It belonged to every student who would ever sing it. The lyrics had words. The melody had breath. The river had a voice. Now, it needed to be built. I opened the session. Empty tracks staring back. Piano first, then strings, then brass. Layer by layer, the world was building. But something felt wrong. The instrumental was becoming a wall. Dense, thick, each frequency field. I played it back, listened. The river was drowning in its own sound. This wasn't a foundation for a voice. This was a fortress keeping it out. But progress matters. So anyways, I stepped into the vocal booth. Headphones on, mic live. 1 deep breath. I pressed record. We are the river flowing strong. 120 years, one song. The words poured out. 3 takes, 5, 7, some wavered, some cracked, some landed. I wasn't thinking anymore, just singing. The melody knew where to go. My voice followed. Take 8 felt right. I felt it in my chest. I dragged the vocal into the mix. Hit play. Disaster. The river swallowed the voice whole. Strings covered the words. Bass buried the melody. The mix was mud. Everything I built was fighting the very thing it was supposed to hold. I could add more tracks, layer more vocals, push harder, or I could carve space. I started cutting. Strings, EQ carved at 2 kHz, room for the voice. Bass, rolled off at 100 Hz, space for the words to breathe. The bridge, stripped to piano, strings, and vocals. I stopped adding and started listening. Each cut revealed more voice. The mix wasn't about filling every space. It was about making room for what mattered. I raised the vocal fader, 1 decibel, 2. The voice sat on top now. The world underneath supported it. The instrumental wasn't a wall anymore. It was a home. I opened the mastering plugin, set the limiter, pressed export. The progress bar filled. SEC Anthem Final Master.mp3 appeared. I pressed play. The song was one object now. Not tracks, not layers, a song. The river had words. The river had melody. The river had breath. Now the river was complete. October 15th. Submit. The announcement was supposed to be November 7th. The next week. Then the next week after. 14 days of silence. Then a message came. Can we meet? Not an email, not a text with result. A meeting. I walked into the room. Sir Chris, Sir Jem. And they told me, you won. But winning meant work. Sir Jem stepped in.
We belong. Mas instinctive siya.
Not just for the arrangement, but for the lyrics themselves. We made revisions, making the message sharper. He replaced the orchestral sounds. Strings, brass, percussion building. Then came the pivot. Sir Jem said, you need a female vocal color to make it sound like an anthem. I knew right away, Irish Rumay. She was the perfect match.
Guys, sumambit kami ni Iris para sa recording ngayon. Hello!
Rehearsals first, learning the melody and the story. Then later on, we met again and came to my studio.
Hey guys, dito kami guys. Mag-record kami guys. Hello po.
I coached her on how to sing, the phrasing,
Mas buo pa yung miss mo. Promise.
the dynamics, and the goal.
Years naman.
Her voice filled the track, clear, strong. The anthem had its second voice, recording, comping takes, mixing vocals for hours. The river wasn't mine alone anymore. December 3rd, the field, the announcement.
Yan, good morning once again, Saints ko! Are you still having fun? And now, ladies and gentlemen, the grand champion of the 120th anniversary theme song writing contest for the winning masterpiece titled Legacy Like a River, Ora et Labora. Representing the incredible talent of our School of Music, let's make the loudest noise that you can for our student winner, Mr. Rion Vale Taala.
I walked on stage, received the certificate and the cash prize in my hands. Then the performance. Me and Irish, singing live. They listened. Students, sisters, the community. They smiled. They clapped. It was beautiful. The song is now official property of St. Scholastica's College, Manila. Not a file anymore, but a part of their story. It will be sung at assemblies, at graduations, at reunions. And one day, the 120th anniversary at St. Cecilia's Hall Theater, the school orchestra, the battered chamber singers, 500 voices joining. The river I started alone now flows through everyone. The river was no longer mine. It belongs to them. Hello everyone. So, at the end of the day, I received the cash prize. And honestly, it was okay. It was actually just a break-even for this whole production. But that's fine, because this wasn't just about the profit. It was about the legacy, the history engraved, the honor to the school. But looking forward, I really hope more sponsors would come in, help me create more award-winning music. You know, they talk about the next Dianella, the next Zakta Buglo, and I respect them. But I don't want to be the next them. I want to be the first Rion Vale. Maybe one day, you'll see me perform at the MOA Arena. So, St. Scholastica's College, or anyone out there willing to sponsor my career, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's change the world. Help me create more music that matters. And I hope to see you in the future kung saan man. God bless everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.